Disclaimer. Do not send any type of harassment or negativity towards the creators that I review. This includes hateful comments, mass paying the creators, dislike spamming, and toxic videos about them. This video is for entertainment purposes, and even then, what I say could be wrong, so please take my videos with a grain of salt. Enjoy! Aw, come on, not bright side again. Fine. Guess what time it is, everyone?
This is going to be a very unusual match, but I bet it'll also be spectacular and intense.
I think you all know who wins this battle, but let's just see Brightside's crazy interpretation of this battle. By the way, this video was made in like 2020 or 2021, I forgot, so I'm going to be a bit more lenient on it.
In the left corner, we have Megalodon.
Even for 2020, even 2021, this Megalodon does not look like a Megalodon at all. Look at those teeth, man. Look at its own face as well. Oh my goodness gracious. How is this Megalodon even passable for a channel with over like 40 million subscribers, or like 30 million subscribers at that time? But what sort of quality control does this channel have? I don't think it has any quality control at all.
This species went extinct about 3 million years ago, but there are good reasons why it's now a legendary animal.
Also, we're just going to circle a segment contains Megalodon right away, because this is Brightside, and we already have a tile circled, which Brightside mentioned Megalodon, because there's Megalodon, so...
It's the biggest shark that ever existed, and it was a super powerful predator in its time. And a round of applause for our contender in the right corner, Titanoboa. This one's way bigger than any other snake. It lives in the swamps of Colombia, and it's the real boss of the area.
Implying that the Titanoboa is still living to this day like the Megalodon. Those Megalodon hoaxes, those Megalodon conspiracy theories. Oh, man. This is just for kids, definitely.
Titanoboa can eat absolutely any animal it decides to hunt, and it faces no competition. It can swallow a giant turtle or even a crocodile. It looks like a modern boa, but behaves like an anaconda, and that's a very scary mix.
Titanoboa is more specialized in aquatic stuff, actually. So if it comes to encounter Megalodon, you know, according to Brightside, they're going to have a bunch of competition, which they're going to have a bunch of competition now.
But can it stop a giant shark? Let's start by looking at their sizes. We still don't know about Megalodon's exact size, because the only remains of them that have survived are just fossilized backbones and teeth. But scientists generally think this monster was about 50 feet long.
See, even in the side view, this just looks way too blocky to be a Megalodon. I know Megalodon is supposed to be more robust than other sharks, but look at this Megalodon. It just doesn't really look like a Megalodon at all. Don't you think, guys? We can also just circle the calls an animal monster tile.
So it wasn't just the biggest shark that ever existed, but also one of the biggest fish of its time.
Normally, I would point out lead 60s, but Brightside deliberately said that Megalodon was one of the biggest fish of its time. Probably the biggest fish of its time, and not the lead 60s, because the lead 60s was already way back, so I will leave Brightside alone in this one. Also, the Megalodon being at 15 meters is quite in the lower end of Megalodon's length. It's around 16 or so meters.
Its closest rival is the modern whale shark, but they're only about 40 feet. The giant Titanoboa got so big thanks to a lucky coincidence. Snakes are cold-blooded animals, so they need a warm climate to live and grow in. Northeastern Colombia is perfect. It was about 90 degrees when Titanoboa was alive. This helped it grow to an incredible 42 feet in length.
Okay, that estimate is also fine. By the way, we can also just circle mentions Titanoboa tile. It's just self-explanatory at this point.
Titanoboa could easily swallow the longest snake registered in the Guinness Book of Records, which is only about 25 feet long. And that's a big gulp. So we have 50 feet versus 42. The first point goes to Megalodon. What about weight? Titanoboa is about 2,500 pounds.
Okay, this one is also the generally accepted estimate of the Titanoboa, as you can see here. The size of the Titanoboa, 1,100 kilograms, is fine. But how does it compare to the Megalodon, you may ask? Well, Brightside will be showcasing that.
That's heavier than a small car, including the passengers. But it might be even heavier if you run into Titanoboa after it's had lunch. In that case, you can add a few hundred pounds more from the turtle or the alligator that it just swallowed. If you put Titanoboa on some very large scales, you'd need 5 giant anacondas on the other side to balance them out.
Another redeeming quality of this Brightside video is that this Brightside video also has the iconic narrator. So I'm a bit more comfortable with this.
But Megalodon is an incredible 50 times heavier than Titanoboa. The average adult female weighs between 27 and 59 tons.
We're using the square cube law, and we can determine that a 15-meter long Megalodon could weigh in, have a mass of around like 50.7 tons. 50.7 metric tons, as you can see here. So it falls ironically within the acceptable range of a 15-meter long Megalodon.
That's as much as an empty Boeing 737 airplane, and that's without carry-on luggage either. Luckily enough, Megalodon can't fly. So obviously, Megalodon wins in the weight category. That's one more point to the ancient shark. Although having such a large weight makes it difficult for the shark to move.
I mean, it could just ambush, and like basically any other predator would. You know, Megalodon can ambush because every other predator can.
And also means it's a little clumsy. Which leads us to our next category, speed and agility.
In a battle between two completely different size classes, I don't think speed and agility would matter that much unless if we're Jurassic Parkifying this battle.
Megalodon can swim at about 16 feet per second. That's enough to make it the ultimate predator.
Its cruising speed is around 5 kilometers per hour, which translates to less than 1.5 meters per second. I can consider that as an outdated estimate. 5 meters per second and 5 kilometers per hour are both outdated estimates nowadays, as of 2025. But, you know, this is 2020. We can also circle the use an outdated estimate.
But it's still slower than plenty of other species. If Megalodon was swimming in a pool and Usain Bolt was running along next to it, he would be twice as fast. His top speed is almost 40 feet per second.
But can he sustain that speed? As humans, we're going to have to do a lot of anaerobic respiration as well. So it's going to hinder Usain Bolt eventually.
Now, a sailfish, which is the fastest sea creature, can reach about 100 feet per second. Megalodon's size and weight make it turn really slowly, just the same as a large truck. So, when it attacks, the shark has only one chance to strike. If it misses, it has to go around for a second attempt. This gives its prey more than enough time to run away.
Assuming that the Megalodon hunts the same things that the great white sharks did, which it probably did, but it used different methods of hunting, and the Megalodon also hunted slower and larger prey, like whales, for example.
Titanoboa isn't that fast either, especially on land. But when the giant snake is in the water, it can swim at a speed of up to 12 miles per hour.
It's more so around 10 miles per hour, but I can't really call it ridiculous territory, because 12 miles per hour is not blatantly obvious.
Not much, but enough for it to escape from Megalodon if it needs to. It's learned to swim so well because water is its main hunting ground. And because Titanoboa is a snake, duh, it also has incredible mobility.
Brightside is now just trying so hard to justify the Titanoboa being able to stand a chance against the Megalodon, man. Ugh. Still trying to use speed and agility as an excuse. What can Megalodon do? Just crush the Titanoboa at this point. Oh my goodness.
It can wriggle around and change direction very quickly, so it can easily dodge Megalodon's bite. So here's the first point for Titanoboa. The score is 2-1 in favor of Megalodon.
By the way, even if Titanoboa manages to dodge every single attack from Megalodon and manages to get a lot of hits on the Megalodon, it's going to have to resurface eventually because it has lungs. Meanwhile, the Megalodon doesn't have to resurface, and so the Titanoboa is going to leave itself vulnerable at one point, leaving the Megalodon have a chance to just strike and kill in one shot.
Next section, fighting skills. Megalodon is incredibly smart. It can change tactics depending on what kind of prey it's hunting.
I know sharks tend to be smart, but it doesn't mean that Megalodon's brain is literally inside of its It's literally... Are you serious? This bright side's interpretation of Megalodon's brain. Its brain it's not shaped like a human, and look at this, it's just... It's kind of uncomfortable to look at.
Scientists have found teeth markings from Megalodon on some whale fossils. These show that the giant sharks aim their bites at their prey's vital body parts to take them out quickly. Other remains of Megalodon's victims have multiple fractures. This is because Megalodon performs a super powerful ram attack that can knock almost anything out.
Yet we're shown Megalodon thrashing its jaws around, like how the northern short-tailed shrew just thrashes its jaws around. The Megalodon is not the short-tailed shrew, guys. No wonder why so many Hall of Shame Megalodon. Oh my god, I'm having a stroke right now. I'm having a brain fart right now, and I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore, but okay.
In fact, this 50-ton beast can easily smash through concrete walls.
I don't know why, but Megalodon casually destroying a concrete wall and breaking it to shreds is just kind of hilarious. Unintentionally hilarious, man. It's just unintentionally funny and just also completely and utterly ridiculous.
So, Megalodon's opponents don't really stand a chance. Some of them prefer to first damage the tails and fins of the whale they're hunting. This stops it from escaping, letting the huge predator finish off its defenseless victim. Now, what can Titanoboa do in response?
Didn't you say that the Titanoboa can just dodge it? And then, okay. I don't think Brightside mentioned Titanoboa's method of attacking. Fair enough.
The giant snake isn't poisonous, but this doesn't stop it from hunting prey up to 4 meters long. Its bite has a very special design. The structure of its teeth and jaws lets Titanoboa really clamp down on the body of its prey, so there's no escape. When hunting, Titanoboa uses similar tactics to an anaconda or a boa.
Okay, Titanoboa would hunt more similarly to an anaconda and does not really constrict prey items like a boa can. Ironic given that Titanoboa is called a boa and its name.
By that, I mean it uses its powerful muscles and weight to stop its prey from moving. It deploys all of its strength to take away the animal's energy, making it helpless.
That's if the Megalodon just lets the Titanoboa constrict it, like how the Titanoboa constricts the T-Rex in a versus battle, which... Oh, Jesus. The T-Rex didn't even do anything. It's just a defenseless meat sack at this point. Just call the Megalodon defenseless meat sack.
So, Titanoboa is not only really speedy and agile, it can also fight its corner pretty well.
What can Titanoboa do against the Megalodon anyway? It's not able to constrict like shown in the video.
It's definitely earned a point in the fighting skills section. The score is now 2-2. That's a tie going into the final round. We've got one more section before we find out which of these ancient monsters will win.
Aw man, stop calling these animals monsters. It's just giving me a ton of PTSD from a lot of those terrible paleontology videos that just call animals monsters constantly for no reason other than, oh hey, it's cool.
Up now is fighting tools. Apart from its ramming power, Megalodon has something else up its sleeve, even though it really doesn't have arms or wears a coat. Let's take a look at its jaw. Its teeth are about 7 inches long.
It's just the longest megalodon tooth being 7 inches. More average megalodon teeth range at around 3 to 5 inches.
That's an absolute record for all known shark species in the world. Megalodon has about 250 of these deadly pointy things arranged in 5 rows.
I'll also leave that alone. Right side also got that correct. I will give them that. So this is just proving that Brightside is definitely not the worst paleontology channel. It probably belongs to Scary Tourist.
They're also really sharp, which helps it penetrate the thick skin of big animals like whales. Megalodon's jaws are 6.5 feet wide, and it has one of the strongest bites of any animal on the planet.
It's actually the strongest in terms of bite force. The Megalodon is 10 times more powerful than that of a great white in terms of the biting force.
Not only are they super dangerous, Megalodon's teeth are also really valuable.
As with most other fossils for that matter, because fossils are quite the anomaly, and every fossil is unique, and there really is nothing else to put.
One of these ancient incisors was once found in Western Australia. The location where it was dug up was kept secret.
We can also by the way, we can also now just circle the talks about facts not relevant to the title tile. And finally, we can also circle the text blasting from video tile. Hooray, we got a bingo, guys. Stay tuned for the bingo, everyone.
But this didn't stop intruders from stealing it. It's probably in someone's private collection by now, and sadly, scientists missed the chance to learn something new about Megalodon. Titanoboa also has a mean set of teeth. They're thin and pointed like needles. They bend inwards in the snake's jaw like fishing hooks.
The head also looks kind of weird, especially for an anaconda or something else, like a Titanoboa. I don't think the Titanoboa's head looked like that. It actually looks more something like this.
This little feature helps Titanoboa get a grip on its prey and prevent the slightest chance of it running or swimming away.
I don't know how that would benefit it from its combat with the Megalodon, but okay.
If the animal tries to pull itself free, it will only hurt itself even more.
So we're just going to try and beat the Megalodon now, and giving the Titanoboa an unfair advantage. Honestly, the battle ends with just... it depends, really. The Megalodon wins 100% of the time in terms of water, but on land, the Titanoboa will definitely be able to win.
And remember that Titanoboa is incredibly agile, so it can strike with that bite at an incredible speed. Now, it's time for the fight itself. Titanoboa never swims in the open sea, but here Megalodon has gotten lost and ended up in a shallow, swampy area off the coast of Colombia.
At this point, Brightside is just doing a lot of Titanoboa glazing. Are Brightside's managers or Brightside's people, Brightside's members and all that, are they Titanoboa fans? And just... goodness gracious. What kind of logic is this? I have no idea. At least it's not power scaling, where it's just nonsensical Hollywood feats. But this is just not a very good or reliable battle at all.
In water like this, Megalodon finds it even harder to move around. It could bite Titanoboa just once and the fight would be over. But because the shark moves so much slower than the snake, for now, he doesn't get the chance to snap those enormous jaws. Titanoboa starts attacking Megalodon, but it can't do much damage to that thick skin with its sharp but very short teeth. Eventually, Megalodon gets its chance.
Never mind. It actually went kind of how I expected, really. The Titanoboa, even though the Titanoboa would probably get the first shot off, as soon as Megalodon gets one bite, it just absolutely just crushes the Titanoboa in half. I'm not even exaggerating.
And ends the fight with a single bite. It turns out that those huge teeth were what really mattered in this competition. Chew on that for a while. That's 3-2 and a victory to the giant shark.
That is the end of the video, and here are the results. We've actually got a bingo, but I'm still not entirely sure on what to do with videos that actually got the bingo. Got a bingo. They actually lost a bingo. I don't know what to do. There are a bunch of videos that also have bingos, and some of them have multiple bingos, but anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one.